We have Kate Bishop on our hands today. We're going to be getting into some of the amazingness that is our ranged and melee Kate Bishop builds. First off, let's get it going. Our melee build here, 2.4K 2.4K rated melee, 1.2, almost 1.3 rated ranged, 1100 defense, 1100 ranged, or a heroic rating. We're going to utilize the quantum teleportation attacks along with a PIM damage buff, a PIM power attack, and the PIM status effect teleportation effect moves with this sword here. Second piece we're going to use is the hive mind arrows. We'll get cryo scatter shots, cryo explosive arrows as well, and also then a cool cryo potentiator. This piece is going to come in handy in a little bit as well. And then lastly, we're going to move into this defensive piece, cosmic willpower amplification. Super awesome, super fun piece to have, especially if you're going to run like any kind of cosmic build. We aren't exactly utilizing it on this build. We'll utilize it on the next build though. This piece is this like storm gear piece, bodysuit of the storm. It's really awesome, and we got it in the Tachyon Surge missions. Our last piece, the Archer's Charm. A lot of people run these on Kate. We got a nice damage buff, defeat 3 enemies in rapid succession, and an extra warp arrow, along with an extra 3%, 3 seconds on disruption effect, and reduce enemy defense by 30 seconds. One of the staples of most of our builds, if you guys go through the playlist and take a look at all of them, is going to be these Cosmic Affinity Stones. They give you, as soon as you take some damage, they're going to give you this buff that gives you any kind of damage while any kind of damage you deal while the buff is active is going to give you health and heroic energy. They're extremely potent for any character across the board. They're amazing. They come with 3 stats too. A lot of them are pretty random. We got a pretty cool one here though. Resolve, the lowest, precision second, and then proficiency. A couple of nice ranged ones. And then for the melee build, we're gonna use a red ISO with double might. We're at almost 60 on the top scale, 45 on the second. Lastly, we'll use the lethal stone. I did use the Tactagon for a little bit with Kate, but in testing, the Tactagon isn't exactly as good as I personally believe it is. Like I don't believe it's as good as the lethal stone. You're gonna output way more damage across the board consistently with the lethal stone as opposed to with the Tactagon. So to swap out for melee, I only have to swap a couple of pieces. I only have to swap this red ISO. We're gonna take this red ISO off and swap them with a blue. We'll keep this piece still. We'll keep this chest plate and these pieces as well. Literally the only piece I have to do is swap out our sword. Our sword piece is gonna do this for us here. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. If I really want to, we can do a little bit more of a heroic recharge rated build. I don't exactly need that too much. And then occasionally if I'm really trying to farm, and I'll farm range builds, like I'll smurf my defense down and I'll take the Cosmic Affinity Stone off, and it'll look a little bit more like this. So we'll be at like 2.2k ranged, 1.5, almost 1.6 melee, 1100 defense, 1.3, almost 1.4 rated heroic. And when it comes down to it, basically we're going to use all of her ranged attacks. We're going to use the triangle power attack, backflip bow attacks for cosmic battery. We'll use the scatter shot and explosive to paint enemies with cryo and slow them down. And then also we're going to have the extra 40% damage as well. Nice thing is Kate's parry is really easy to do. The teleportation is fun. The Tachyon Surge is super easy to pop for her with at almost 25%. The ranged, in my opinion, her ranged build is better now than the melee used to be. The melee used to be really solid. I'm gonna talk mastery. and then we'll talk a little bit of champion leveling. I haven't actually champion leveled Kate Bishop at all. I have leveled up other characters past 10. We're going to talk to you about some of the specific trees that you should go down, or at least I think you should go down to start off with a ranged Kate Bishop and with a melee Kate Bishop. I hope you guys like that as well. So basically, let's get into this. For her ranged attack, this is going to be what it's going to look like. We'll have this last one here. Combo finishers. This one will stay here too. Stun damage from all melee attacks. Heroic orbs or regen. Regens are always nice too. For the melee, every now and again I think about doing this with melee build for her. If you make it so takedowns drop an intrinsic orb, you can basically regen your intrinsic bar, keep yourself going and teleporting all over the place. Ranged mastery is going to be strictly scatter shots, so it'll be easier to hit a single target with multiple arrows. Increase the damage of fully charged scatter shots by 5% for each mark on the target, and then we'll fire 2 additional scatter shot arrows. The blink dash ability by 15%, increased rate of the intrinsic energy regenerate by 30. So basically all bottoms here, and then we're gonna go all mid on the intrinsic overcharge. For specialties, I use the warp arrow and the minigun. So basically how it works is the quantum storm. You have the output of energy. So the way I line up Kate is I use her major artifact first, I use her R1 second, and then I get really close to that black hole, and I'll use my middle ability as well right before they blow up. So it's like a double damage dealer. And then basically anybody who's left, I just completely massacre with the like minigun arrows right here. And then at one point, and then for the melee quantum scythe builds are pretty fun to do. We do it with the teleportation attack. It basically sends like a ranged attack at enemies when you're overcharged. Last but not least, we're gonna show you guys the champion series here, or the champion level tree. For Kate Bishop, a couple of different ones that you guys should really consider doing. Obviously, her combat, the extra 15% for combat will be nice. You'll enjoy that extra 15% across the board, whichever one you spec yourself into. If you're a ranged character, go through ranged tree first. Melee, go through melee first. Those 2 trees are pretty self-explanatory though. The one that people I think are sleeping on is this critical damage boost here. Basically, this critical damage boost is the highest extra percentage in the entire tree. It gives you 25%. The only one that's close to that is down here. It's your defensive boosts. So basically, your defensive willpower recovery will increase by 25% when you're all said and done with this tree as well, which is a minimal stat. In theory, most abilities do stuff like that. So the critical attack damage is what is your crit strikes. That's what scales up your crit strikes. If you can get an extra 25% onto that, that'll be huge. We're already doing we already have a pretty high critical chance on some of her builds. Our critical damage is already at 200%, so we're gonna try to make that even higher with the extra 25. Also, another one that's really solid is her heroic recharge rate. You'll get an extra 12.5% out of this here. And then stun and status damage for this specific range build is going to be one of the trees that I go down first. I'm going to go down critical damage boost. I'm going to go down stun and status, and then also ranged with this specific build. If I were to do melee, the only one I would change is I would do the melee damage boost. And then also I would still do the stun and status damage. I might not use critical damage as much, and we might go for like a recharge rate, but in all honesty, those 3 are still those 3 areas that we're looking at here today with Kate are still going to be your best bet, YouTube. After leveling up Iron Man and hearing things in the community about other people leveling up their different characters, and like I've leveled up Hawkeye as well, Miss Marvel, Black Widow. you know, after leveling all of these up champion wise, these specific trees are going to be some of your better ones no matter what. Yo, thank you so much everyone for taking the time to watch the Kate build today. If you guys did like the video, don't forget, leave a like, leave a comment, and hit subscribe on the channel. It means a lot to me. It helps us. If you guys are interested in seeing some awesome Kate plays, don't forget to check out the Twitch channel, Garn_64 TTV. The link will be down below, as well as go check the Discord, and also don't forget to take a look at our Raise Rep Sports sponsor here. They give me the energy I need to kick ass on stream and do all the awesome Marvel things, man. Extra 15% off with the Garn F64 code. Don't forget to check them out, man. As always, thank you so much for all that you guys do out there on the channel, on the YouTube channel, as well as Twitch. I appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the 2 videos that we're going to leave for you, or the playlist. As always, peace and prosperity, YouTube, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.